Hi, welcome to Joy and Olive's video edition. I figured since it's been such a long time since I've released an episode that I would finally do one in video, and it's literally just me. I'm so sorry, this is all natural. I'm gonna just film something really quick before I head out tonight. But first of all, I wanted to thank my friends that sent me messages asking me when I was gonna release another episode. And truth be told, I actually planned on taking the entire year off from podcasting because this is the year that I will finish my PhD, or at least the draft and the submission of my PhD. By the grace of God. So I really want to focus on that and just give my full attention to that. Because I'm someone who just needs to pick one thing and to focus on it. If I have too many projects going on, I'm just all over the place. But two people in a row messaged me this week, and they're from totally different countries. And they were like, when are you gonna record another episode? And I was like, yeah, you know what? I'll do one just for you guys. And yeah, it actually does mean a lot to me when you guys remind me that you do listen, because I do make these episodes for you guys, not really for myself, but yeah, it's really for people. So if you ever feel like it's taking me too long to get an episode out, just drop me a message. I'm not really active on social media these days, but if you have my personal number or email, just drop me a line. But okay, I am actually right next to my little fish tank setup. And in January of this year, I bought a pet fish. And you might be asking why I did that. And you know, when you are working on your PhD thesis alone at home, and you're alone for most of the day, you really do need someone to talk to. Now, I do talk to Jesus when I feel like it, but I do really, really love animals. And yeah, you know you've reached a breaking point in your thesis when you need a fish to talk to. But that's besides the point. I also do really love animals, and I love fish. So I bought a betta fish, and as you will see, there is no betta fish in this tank, and I will tell you why. So I got this betta fish. It was not in this tank. It was in a much smaller tank, and it was like my best friend those first few weeks. I talked to it every day, and betta fish are really intelligent. So it recognized me, and it had a personality too. So if I was out the whole day, it would be upset with me. And some of you might be thinking that I'm anthropomorphizing, meaning like I'm attributing human personality traits to an animal, but I'm serious. I tested this multiple times where I would be at home all week and it was fine, it was happy, and then I would be out all day on Sunday, come back, and whenever I come to the tank at a certain time, it knows when it's going to be fed. So when I attempted to feed it on a Sunday night, it would be upset with me that I was out the whole day, and it wouldn't even like swim up to me. It wouldn't even look at me, and it would even bite its own tail to show me how depressed it was. So I felt so bad for the little guy, but knowing that it's a fighting fish, I mean, you can't really get it other fish buddies. So I decided to buy a female betta fish as company. Now, I know you are not supposed to put two betta fish together in the same tank, but I only had one tank, so I put a divider in the tank that would allow them to see each other, and I, at times, lifted that divider, and actually that divider was faulty because the fish found their way around it. But anyways, it did keep them from fighting most of the time. And they even mated. Yes, which was quite interesting to watch. But my first fish, I named him Happy. Happy was like all over the place emotionally. I mean, there were times that he treated the female beta quite nicely, and then there were times that he was upset and then they would fight, or rather he would pick the fight. She was very docile and she just ignored him and tried to hide from him most of the day. Or he would attempt to mate with her. And after like 2 weeks, like after a week of this, I was like, no more sexual harassment for my female fish. So I got another tank for her and I put them next to each other thinking that they would just be happy knowing that there was company. Okay. Then like 2 weeks later, so after 2 weeks of them being together or having a buddy, I felt like he was getting depressed again. And I was like, oh no, like this is just like, when is this going to end? So I thought, okay, maybe Happy just needs a bigger tank with more plants. So that's exactly what I'm gonna do. Thankfully, someone was giving away this tank, which is like the perfect size for Happy. Although I do know that betta fish are supposed to get 5-gallon tanks. I'm sorry, I just don't. I live in an apartment that doesn't have the space for that. So I settled for this tank and I got it for free, got these plants for it, put him in the tank, and I came to realize that he actually developed something called velvet disease, which is a very small granular-like bacteria that grows over a fish, and it causes the fish to become very lethargic, to lose its appetite. So that's exactly what was happening to him. And I was like, dear Lord, maybe I shouldn't have bought a fish, because I was like actually worrying about him almost all the time. And I didn't want to go buy like the medication for it, because years ago I had betta fish and I bought medicine and like it didn't help. In fact, I felt like it killed my betta fish. So I was like, look, this is just getting way too complicated. Meanwhile, the female betta fish, who was living happily on her own, I felt like was also getting a little depressed being alone. So I bought her a different kind of fish to live with her, because female bettas are supposed to be really, really calm. They don't need, they don't fight. But when I bought a honey gurumi fish. When I put honey into her tank, she became so territorial. She was biting him, and literally, guys, I ended up with 3 tanks with 3 fish because I had to separate all of them. And I had to nurse Happy, who was being attacked by this velvet disease. So I was like, what did I get myself into? Like, I have a PhD to write, and now I have 3 children. They felt like 3 kids to take care of. By the way, I really admire people with mammals like cats, dogs. Like, fish were already so much work for me. I can't imagine an actual mammal. Okay, so all that's to say, it was stressing me out. I got a huge zit like right here. Like, that's how stressed I was. And then I decided to release Happy and his sister, whom I named Orly. I released them in a beautiful pond. Don't ask me where. And yeah, I just wanted them to have a better life. Yeah. And so I was stuck now with the last fish, the honey gurumi. By the way, I've gone back to this pond to look for my 2 fish. It's a huge pond, and it's not a public pond. Yeah, so I'm pretty sure it was not illegal for me to do that. But anyways, let's just hope that no one comes after me for doing that. But yes, it was a huge place so that they would have plenty of space to be away from each other. And I released Happy when he seemed a lot better. By the way, velvet disease, if you keep a fish in a warm water tank and you try to keep it out of sunlight and you isolate the plants for a couple of days, it really helps a lot. Okay, sorry. That was just a fish care tip. Going back to my last fish, the honey gurumi. So I put the honey gurumi in this tank and he was happy. And then I'm just someone that's really empathetic toward fish. I really hate seeing them alone. So I bought him another honey gurumi. So there were 2 of them in this tank. And unfortunately, the first one died last week. And it was so weird because the second one was completely healthy. But the day that the first honey gurumi was dying, it's like he saw that and he too started to show signs of illness. Like he was like floating on his side. And I was like, oh my gosh, like the 2 of them didn't even seem like they got along that well together anyway. Like they both like to stick in their own separate sections of the tank. But suddenly when the first one was dying, the second one started to die as well. And then that night I got up at like 4 a.m. I came to look at the tank and the first one was dead. It was gone, kaput. At the bottom of the tank, the water kind of smelled bad. And I was so exhausted. I just like eventually went back to sleep. I didn't pull the first one out. But the second one was literally like at 4 a.m. when I came, he was like on his back, like literally like floating with his face up toward the sky. His gills were like gasping for air. It was like, and I was like, I felt so bad for that fish. I literally laid my hand over the tank like this. And I was like, dear Jesus, like, please help this fish not to suffer. Like, please heal it. But if it needs to go, just let it go. Like, I cannot bear to see a fish breathing like that. And then I lifted up my hand. I kid you not, you guys. Like I turned away and I looked back. And that second fish was like upright. So it was no longer on its back. It was upright. And it like was swimming a little, but it was also like sinking. So its tail and fins had like hardened, sort of semi-hardened, and it like literally this fish looked like it was not going to make it through the night. I got up in the morning, I checked on it. It was still alive, but barely. So it was no longer on its back, but it was like still doing the sinking thing where it was like coming up for air, sinking, and its its fins and tail were disintegrating. Like I literally saw it like melting in the water. And I had to leave that day for church. So I just sprinkled some food and I was like, I think that's gonna be its last supper. I was out for like 12 hours. I come back. I have never seen resurrection the way that I did. I didn't do anything to the water. I took out the dead fish that was in there and I just left it. I didn't even change the water, even though I should have, because there was a dead fish in there for like half a day. Not half a day, like, you know, all night. And I didn't do anything because I figured that that second fish was going to die anyway. But when I came back, you guys, this fish was a happy camper. It was swimming around. It was eating, pooping. It actually seemed happier now that its friend was gone because, yeah, it sort of had a nervous disposition and then it suddenly became this really cheerful fish. So I don't know if you can see him. Where is he? Okay, we'll wait for him to come back. But I decided to rename him Miracle because it was a literal miracle. I have never seen anything like that. I've had fish since I was a child, and anytime I've seen a fish act the way that he does, I'm like, it's a goner. I did have like a goldfish once that seemed like it was almost dying, but then it ended up living for almost another year. But it was not dying to the point that this little guy, oh, he's here. His name is Miracle. There you go, little Miracle. He did not look like the way Miracle did. Like Miracle literally looked like, I don't know, he was having cardiac arrest for most of the night. So I do not know what happened except that I came back to a very well and alive fish. And, you know, I just really smile because, you know, I've been writing a PhD thesis. It's been so hard. I cannot tell you how many times, like, I've started, quit, and praying for a miracle and feeling like a miracle will never come. But this fish has reminded me how important it is to never give up, and that miracles do happen. Like, you could be dying and the Lord can do something. So it's not over till it's over. And that's my message for y'all listening. Yeah, because just look at him. Can you see him? He's like, he's well. And because of that fish, I decided not to give up this week either. And yeah, things are actually getting a lot better with my PhD writing. And yeah, I just want to say that our God is the God of the living. And Jesus did say that I am the bread of life, and whoever believes in me will eat of that bread and have eternal life. So I'm just going to end on that note.